MiniWarGaming's Warmachine League battle reports.
Hey there, MiniWarGamers. Owen here from MiniWarGaming with Nick and Eric to play another game in the Warmachine League. We have 35 points of Khador going up against Legion, and I'll show you the armies and we'll get right to the game.
Here we have the Legion army. Starting off, we have a Shepherd, 2 Forsaken, Absolonia. We have a Harrier, 2 3 Shredders, a Scythian, Typhon, and then an Angelius. And there we go, we've got Tier 4 with Absolonia and the Legion of Everblight. So here on the other side, we've got the Khador, big army here, lots of infantry. We've got Boomhowler and his full group of troll buddies. We have the Gallowswood group. We've got Hesh, Epic Sorsha, Beast 09, Wishnalar, and then we've got the full unit of Winter Guard with a few weapon attachments, the UA and Kovnik Joe right there up front. And there we go, the Khador army right there. Let's see how they deploy right there. So we're playing Process of Elimination. There's an objective and a zone. We've got the Legion on the left here, the Khador all lined up in a solid wall on the right. And as it stands, we're going to get off with turn 1. Khador go first. He moves up with his Boomhowlers, just running up his head, moving up as fast as he can, because basically they're just going to pick a fight. And they have a 4+ tough, because that's what Boomhowler does. We've got the Gallows Weapon Master Reach guys moving up, and they're a nasty little unit of solos there, quite powerful. And then the Winter Guard move up, they bob and weave, and basically everyone's getting in position here. Next turn they're going to really get in the fight. Sorsha moves up. She casts Iron Flesh onto the Boomhowlers, and she uses her innate ability to increase the defense on the Winter Guard. So here we go, moving into the Legion turn. First thing, he has Tenacity put down by the Shredder, who then advances forward. And of course, put Tenacity onto the Scythian. The other one put Tenacity onto an Angelius, and then it moved up as well. Because Shredders versus an entire army of guys, why not? And then Tenacity onto the Harrier, who then moves up as well. Just flying up towards the objective there. Which I found rather odd, because I mean he's really pushing forward with light beasts that can't, or lesser war beasts, not even light beasts, but lesser beasts that don't really have a lot of hitting power as far as taking on entire armies of infantry. That said, the Scythian and the Angelius are both very good at it, both of them having reach, and Scythian even having potentially the ability to hit them all in close combat, especially if, for example, he hits and the beast, or rather the Boomhowler toughs. You then, in between your second attack, you use your Slaughtermaster. So because you'll then auto-hit with your second one, you'll auto-hit, they won't get tough, and then you'll get an attack against all the other guys in your reach. So, that's a thing. But anyway, moving up now with Absolonia, after moving up Typhon and some Shepherds, and Forsaken. Here we go, Absolonia goes up. She does Forced Evolution onto the Angelius. And then playing God onto the Typhon. So he's got Open Fists and a bunch of other special rules. And then Tenacity on herself, just because. The Khador turn begins, he moves up Beast 09, moves up Sorsha, well, started moving up Sorsha, and then decided he was going to move up Sorsha, and just hung out right there. She casts Iron Flesh once again, this time onto the infantry, the Winter Guard. And then gives some Desperate Pace to give them +1 to their movement. Or in all, they'll end up having 7-inch movement. And they all just moved up. So here we go. They start shooting off some shotgun blasts. And they miss and do no damage and miss. And now they're shooting the Harrier. And they miss. And they hit. There we go. So dice +2 damage. And he does 5 points of damage. A little bit of damage to that Harrier there. Next guy goes to fire away. Just doing shots now. And he hits. And dice +1. Bam. 8 point of damage. Kills the Harrier. And that's it for him. Those two start shooting at the Shredder here. Now they are combining range. They do dice +4 damage, and he just kills it. Got a little bit of confusion there, but that Shredder dies. He does take the Fury back. Joe moves up. They are within his command. There we go. And that's what happens. So the Boomhowler now is going to charge, or Boomhowlers are starting to charge, going after the Scythian here. So first guy makes his charge easy, the next guy goes, makes his charge easy. This guy is charging the Angelius, and he does actually make the charge. And this guy's, or rather, he ran up. He didn't charge. These guys are also running up as well. And there we go. Has to do a fear, or terror rather, but he does pass, which would have been hilarious if he were to fail that terror check, because then all these boom howlers wouldn't be doing anything. And the rest of these guys are continuing to move up, and they all just kind of fill in the zone. Combined melee attacking the Scythian, dice -5, and they have 3 dice. They do 5 points of damage and mess up his mind a little bit. The Gallows guys move up, or the Great Bears. There we go. And they hang out behind the flag, or behind the wall there. They get bonus armor for being base to base. They get like steady, I believe. They're all reach weapon masters. They have backswing, so they get 2 potential attacks, but they could kill their own guys. He's got his spells upkept, and he rabbits a shredder, moving up to attack the boom howler. He does hit, and then it's dice -6, which he does get enough damage, and he does make his tough. So he buys another attack, which hits and kills him. There we go. Typhon is going to charge the objective, so he moves up right into there, and then has his initial attack against the objective. It was dice -3, because he, of course, is automatically going to hit it, and then fires a spray off, shooting into the crowd here, hitting 3 guys after all. First guy is a miss. Second guy, once again, he's needing boxcars thanks to Iron Flesh, the buff from Joe, and I believe Desperate Pace even gives him a little bit of defense. But regardless of what the cause is, you got tons of bonuses here. He boosts to hit the UA, though, which does kill him if he fails his tough, which he did. Yeah, Joe gave them tough. That's what he did. That's what he did. Now he's shooting another spray. This one is going to hit Joe as well as a bunch of other guys. And does a little bit of damage to the objective. Now aiming for Joe, or aiming for the banner guy. He lives. Next guy lives, and then boosts against Joe, because that's what you do. And he hits, and tough. Nope. Joe is dead, but he has sacrificial pawn, so he doesn't die. One of the guys nearby dies instead. He then attacks and destroys the objective, scoring a point for the Legion team. So when it comes down to, scenario is everything. The Shredder moves up, and he does freaks out as well. I can't recall what it's called right now, but dice -6 now as he attacks against it's not Snacky, it's Rabbit. Rabbit is what it is. Boosted attack and damage rolls, +2 to his speed, and Pathfinder. Very good ability. Maybe not Pathfinder, but certainly very good. If any other model had that ability, it would be ridiculously overpowered, but Shredders are wimps, and so it's not so bad for them. And the Forsaken moves up and fails his tough because he didn't call it at the right time, and so he wasn't able to get his tough because he just forgot to do it. And the Forsaken's just up there trying to blow up and kill a few of these guys, and unfortunately she doesn't do very much damage, more or less just bouncing off of how tough these boom howlers were. The Angelius, though, he moves up, and unfortunately he's not able to attack the objective this time because he did damage the other objective and destroy it, but he damaged the other objective, and so you can't do it. Attacking the boom howler, he boosts the hit and hits, so Armor Pierce just kills it, and he does fail his tough, so he dies. He then gets to move an inch, and so he attacks the next guy, buying an attack, which is a hit. And once again, we just go right to the toughs, which he failed again because once again he had forgotten to call the 4+ tough. He then gets to move another inch with his Angelius, moving up and buying yet another attack against the next guy here, and he needs a 6 to hit, which he gets, and fails his tough, and another boom howler dies. And that's the end of that Angelius' little rampage. There we go. Shepard moved over and took the Fury off, and then he moves up with Absolonia hanging out behind the wall there. And she decides to cast Carnivore onto the Scythian, and then Tenacity onto the Angelius, which we then realize that, wait a second, you're too far away, you can't cast Tenacity, so instead he cast it on himself. And that's pretty much all he did. So here we go, we've got the Carnivian now charging in, going for the boom howlers, and I didn't know why he did this. I thought he was going to go for the Great Bears, but instead he went for the boom howler, killing him with no toughs allowed. Attacking the next guy, hits and kills him with no toughs allowed, and I'm like, see, you could have killed. And of course he heals a little bit, thanks to Carnivore, I believe. Here we go, moving into the Khador turn. He gives a bunch of focus to the beast, and then moves over with Sorsha. And her feat, if you don't know what Epic Sorsha does, is any damage that exceeds armor is doubled. So for example, say you would normally do 2 damage, you're now going to do 4. So here we go. We've got Halesh moving over. He gets boosted to hit against the Scythian because he's got Purgation. And anyone who has an upkeep on them, they get boosted to hit and additional die damage. I do believe that's what it is. It's additional die or boosted, but I think it's additional. Does a surprising amount of damage and then gets another shot which actually misses. Because he can basically keep shooting a bunch of times so long as he hits. Beast 09 charges in, and he charges into the Angelius because that's what he does. And so he does a Thresher attack now with his reach attack. Going for the Angelius, needs a 10, and he does get the hit. It's dice plus 1, and he does a whopping 16 points of damage because once again the damage is doubled. And he swings at the objective, doing a bunch of damage. Now he's swinging for the Scythian and misses on a Snake Eyes. The objective only lived with 1 box. He then hits the Scythian with his second attack. Dice even, he does 20 points of damage and kills him thanks to the feat. Buys another attack. Going for the Angelius once again, boosting to hit once again, and he does miss. The Great Bears charge in, jumping over the wall here, moving up. They have Boundless Charge, so they get Pathfinder when they charge. And so they charge in. Unfortunately, only the first attack is the one that's going to give you that double damage Armor Pierce feat ability, or the first damaging attack. So unfortunately, he can't keep doing it. But these guys are crazy powerful, and so here we go. First guy attacks, needing a 9 to hit. And he does get it, and he is a Weapon Master at dice minus 5, and a Weapon Master on the charge. Sorry, dice minus 6, thanks to Tenacity. There we go. And he still hits him very good, but he does have to do a backswing on himself, so he swings for his own guy on a 5, which hits, and then dice minus 4. He rolls awful and only does 1 point of damage, not killing his own guy. He then attacks the objective at dice minus 8 with the next Great Bear. Does get a hit and destroy the objective. He then backswings and hits the Forsaken who's standing there, but it is a miss. Next guy goes for the Forsaken. He does get a hit, and then dice minus 2 just kills her because she was already damaged. Here we go. We're moving on to the little fellas here. All of the Winter Guard who have got additional dies thanks to Kovnik Joe, and now they all move up. Well, Joe gave them the boosted to hit and then shot at the Carnivian but failed to hit it. And so that's basically what happened there. Here we've got the Winter Guard all just kind of reforming, reshaping where they want to be. They do, of course, still have Iron Flesh on them, and so they all kind of pile in, getting in position here. Getting ready to attack him both melee and at range, because he does have sprays, which his guys are unlikely to hit his own guys, but more likely to hit that Typhon. And so there we go, moving up the flag and the rest. So the first guy is shooting at that Shredder. Need an 8, they get boosted, but he misses. The next guy shooting needs a Boxcars, and he does get it, and it turns into an AoE thanks to the rocket. But deviates 1 to the 1, hitting them. Dice minus 8 does no damage, and dice minus 9 does no damage. Here we go, attacking the Typhon, and he hits with the first attack, doing 3 points of damage, and then shoots a Shredder at point blank, which gets triple Boxcars to hit, dice plus 2 damage, and nearly kills it. It has 1 box left. Next guy going to fire off a spray into the unit there, needing a 9. He does get the hit. It's dice minus 4, and he kills that Forsaken. So she is destroyed. Absalonia, though, needing an 11. He does not get it. Firing off against the Shredder, he gets a hit. Dice even, and I think it only has like 1 box of health, but it dies. Oh, no, wrong Shredder. That's the other Shredder. See, even I'm getting confused about which Shredder is which Shredder. But he does hit with the next attack, having to reroll that, though, because he needs an 8. Yeah. So reroll because the dice was on top of another dice. Dice even, and 4 more points of damage, taking out its body at that point. So its mind and its body are gone. The Boom Howlers activate, getting a charge run, so he charges into that Shredder. And the next Boom Howler, or Boom Howler himself, charges into the Shredder as well. And there we go. So the first one attacks, dice damage, and destroys it. And that is the end of the Shredder. Splat. Here we go. We've got Wishnalar, and 2 points go to Khador for scoring the objective, as well as killing the objective that was in that zone. Misses Boom Howler, attacks again, going with the Shredder once again, and he misses again, so both attacks with the Shredder miss. He decides he's going to move Typhon, trampling over those guys and ending up on this side of them. So first off, he rolls to try and kill some of them. He needs 8s to hit, and he does get a hit, which they just die. They don't have tough, and so they get killed if they get hit. But now he gets to do a bunch of free strikes as Typhon ran off. Dice minus 9, Nothing. Next attack. Ooh, 5 points of damage. There we go. Bit of damage. The next one attacks and misses, and the last ones, they're attacking as well, doing a little bit more damage, and so that's what happens. And he regenerates a little bit thanks to forced evolution. Or rather, regeneration? Excessive healing. That's it. I will remember all the abilities. Typhon attacks again, failing to hit that little guy. Attacks again, fails to hit him again. Absalonia is now debating what she's going to do here. And tries to cast some spells against the Boom Howlers, which miss. Then he tries to drop an AoE over top of the guy there. Boost or warps for strength to get even more powerful with his caster. And she basically then flies over, or moves over, nearing the Great Bears, which once again, kind of suicidal. But she attacks, needing a 6, and hits, and then it's dice -1, does the 5 boxes, but he does have tough, and he fails his tough, and so a Great Bear is slain. Which is unfortunate for him. Buying an attack against the next Great Bear, needing a 6 to hit, which he does get, and then dice -1, just enough to kill him, and no tough once again. And then buying one more attack against the last Great Bear, he's all by himself, but he misses, buys one more attack, and hits, and then dice +1 kills him. There we go. So that is the end of the Boom Howler if he fails his tough, but he does make his tough, so the Great Bears are not gone yet. Khador turn begins with Sorsha, and she just kind of keeps a little bit of her focus. Starts moving around with his Winter Guard once again, taking a few free strikes, but they're okay. So he moves back, and we just take him off because he died, because he got hit. All the Winter Guard pile in surrounding the location, or the Typhon. They're just going to collectively gun him down because, I mean, it's right out of the movies there. The giant monster and the army surrounds it, and they're all just going to shoot him up, and that'll be the end of him. So they're all shooting together. They hit, and then dice +3. They end up hitting him for like 15 points of damage, or 13 points of damage. And yeah, Purgation Shot hits the Typhon once again. It's additional to die because he's got an upkeep on him. And then Typhon dies. Shot down. He tries to bounce a shot off of the Shredder. Misses, but he's got to roll to hit against the Boom Howler, which hits and kills him. But he makes his tough. Now, because he hit again, he gets to make another shot. Shooting the little Shredder once again. Misses. And now shooting his own guy, which misses as well. So there we go. Sorsha then moves up 6. And then charges Absalonia. She used Wind Rush to move the first bit, and then charges. And that way she's right up in there, able to attack. So she does her attack, needing a 9 to hit, and it is boosted. Hit, dice -1 on the charge attack, and blam, 5 boxes left. Buys another attack, boosting to hit. Or no, not boosting. Does hit though. Dice -1.
If you would have missed,
exactly
it's gonna pay off. If you whiff the damage and maybe whiff the Great Bear, and he can't really get in and hit me, I have a chance.
No, if I didn't kill him, he was charging this guy. Because inner control area, he gets free rerolls on his charge attack, so we would have 3 chances that Shredder, dice 6, to kill him.
I forgot he charges for free.
I still win on scenario, so anyways, get it. I get 5 control points, right? So.
Yep,
done.
And full points.
Full points.
So yeah, here we are at the end of the game, and it was a Khador victory, as you can see. Full points, full everything. You slaughtered him.
Slaughtered, needed a good.
It was a good game. So.
Thank you, Nick.
Leave a comment below if you have anything to say about these armies, what you would have brought, what you would have done differently, and happy wargaming.